Nearly 80% of Americans identify as Christian, yet fewer than half can name the first 4 books of the New Testament. This isn't just trivia, it reveals a deeper mystery. We follow traditions without questioning their origins. Philosopher Soren Kierkegaard warned of those who impose their will and call it gods. Are our practices truly rooted in divine instruction, or are they echoes of forgotten history? Take weekly worship for billions, it's Sunday. But did Jesus ever command this? Let's peel back the layers of tradition and history to uncover the real origins of Sunday worship. Are you ready to explore a tradition that has shaped civilizations for nearly 2 millennia? The story begins with the habits of Jesus himself. To truly understand the teachings of Jesus, it's important to not only listen to his words, but also to carefully observe his actions. What he did day by day reveals the heart of his message and the priorities he lived by. His life was a living example, a model for those who would follow him. In Luke 4:16, the Bible records, "As his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day." This wasn't a one-time event or a rare occurrence. It was his regular practice, a rhythm woven into the fabric of his life. Week after week, Jesus joined his community in worship, reflection, and learning on the Sabbath. He made it a point to be present, to participate, and to set an example for others. Jesus, the central figure of Christianity, kept the Sabbath, the seventh-day Saturday, not Sunday. This detail is significant, especially when we consider how traditions have shifted over time. On the Sabbath, Jesus didn't just attend services. He actively taught, healed the sick, and reached out to those in need. The Sabbath was a day for him to connect deeply with his community, to share meals, and to offer hope and restoration. If Jesus had intended to introduce a new day of worship, wouldn't his own life have reflected that change? His actions were intentional, and he never hinted at shifting the sacredness of the Sabbath to another day. Yet throughout the Gospels, there's no record of him treating Sunday as special or gathering his followers for worship on the first day of the week. Instead, the Gospels consistently show Jesus honoring the seventh-day Sabbath, teaching and living out its true purpose. His actions speak louder than later traditions or changes made centuries after his time. What mattered to him was clear in the way he lived. Jesus restored the Sabbath's true meaning, a day for healing, liberation, and doing good. He showed that the Sabbath was not a burden, but a gift, meant for renewal and compassion. The custom of Jesus was to honor the Sabbath on the seventh day. This is our starting point for understanding his example, a tradition rooted in love, community, and spiritual renewal. If Jesus' actions pointed to the seventh-day Sabbath, what about his words? Nowhere does Jesus command worship on Sunday. There's no verse, parable, or instruction changing the day. Instead, in Mark 2:27 he says, "The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath." He claims lordship over the Sabbath, not Sunday. Jesus didn't abolish the law, he fulfilled it, showing the Sabbath's true spirit. He healed and taught on the Sabbath, revealing its purpose as a gift, not a burden. The absence of any command to change the day is central. The evidence points exclusively to the seventh-day Sabbath. So if Jesus never changed it, where did Sunday worship come from? For that we must look to history. The Sabbath's roots go back to creation and the 10 Commandments, divine principles written in stone. The fourth commandment says, "Remember the Sabbath day, to keep it holy. The seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord your God." This commandment is about sacred time, not just morality. It's a memorial of creation, a weekly reminder of our origins. Jesus affirmed the law's permanence. Until heaven and earth disappear, not the smallest letter will disappear from the law. The commandment specifies the seventh day, not just any day. Changing it isn't a minor adjustment, it's altering what was written in stone. If not Jesus, then who changed it? The answer lies in Roman history. If Jesus and the apostles didn't change the Sabbath, who did? This question has puzzled historians and believers for centuries. The early Christian church, following the example of Jesus and his disciples, continued to honor the seventh-day Sabbath, as was the custom in Jewish tradition. But over time, subtle shifts began to take place, influenced by both cultural and political forces. The shift was gradual, but cemented by Emperor Constantine in the 4th century. As Christianity spread throughout the Roman Empire, it encountered a world steeped in different customs and beliefs, especially those of Rome's pagan majority. In 321 AD, Constantine decreed Sunday a public day of rest. On the venerable day of the sun, let all workshops be closed. This was the first civil law regarding Sunday observance, and it marked a significant departure from the biblical Sabbath. This new law aligned with the long-standing pagan practice of sun worship, which honored the sun god on Sunday. By choosing this day, Constantine created common ground for pagans and Christians, easing tensions in his diverse empire. A few decades later, the Council of Laodicea took things further. They forbade Christians from resting on Saturday, the traditional Sabbath, and instead mandated Sunday observance for all church members, making it an official church policy. This was a church command, not a biblical one. Nowhere in the New Testament is there a command to change the Sabbath from Saturday to Sunday. Sunday worship became law through imperial decree and church council, not Jesus' teaching. The authority for this change came from human institutions, not from the words or actions of Christ. The tradition is rooted in political compromise, not scripture. It was a strategic move to unify the empire and the church, blending religious practices for the sake of peace and stability. Historians agree, Constantine's law was a turning point. It set a precedent that would shape Christian worship for centuries to come, influencing millions of believers. Culture and politics reshaped religious practice, leaving a legacy that still sparks debate and reflection today. Today, most Christians worship on Sunday without ever really knowing why. The commandment that begins with "remember" is the one most often forgotten. Centuries of tradition have slowly layered over the original blueprint. Sunday observance feels ancient, but its roots are actually in Roman politics, not scripture. The Sabbath was given to all who follow God, a universal and enduring moral law. Forgetting the Sabbath means forgetting its meaning, creation, redemption, and true rest. Are we content to follow tradition, or do we truly seek the path Jesus walked? The blueprint is still there, waiting patiently to be rediscovered. The Sabbath isn't a burden. It's a gift, an invitation to freedom. In a world that constantly demands more from us, the Sabbath offers a sacred pause, a chance to step away from the noise and busyness of everyday life. It's a weekly reminder that our worth isn't measured by productivity but by our ability to simply be, to breathe, and to reconnect with what truly matters. Isaiah calls the Sabbath a delight, a day to focus on what matters most. It's a time to gather with loved ones, to share laughter and stories, to savor good food and the beauty of creation. The Sabbath invites us to slow down and rediscover the joy of being present, both with others and with ourselves. In our non-stop world, a true day of rest is radical and necessary. We're surrounded by constant motion, emails, deadlines, and endless to-do lists. Taking a full day to rest can feel almost impossible, but it's exactly what our minds and bodies crave. Sabbath rest is a gentle rebellion against burnout and exhaustion. The Sabbath is a weekly sanctuary in time, a divine prescription against burnout. It's a sacred space carved out for reflection, renewal, and peace. In these quiet hours, we find clarity and strength to face the week ahead. Hebrews speaks of a Sabbath rest for God's people, a taste of heaven each week. It's a glimpse of the world as it should be, whole, unhurried, and filled with grace. This rest is not just physical, but spiritual and emotional as well. Try it for yourself. Set aside work and worries from sunset Friday to sunset Saturday. Let go of your usual routines and give yourself permission to truly rest. Notice how your heart and mind respond to this sacred pause. Fill the time with what restores your soul. Nature, family, prayer, stillness. Take a walk in the woods, share a meal, or simply sit in silence and listen to the world around you. Let the Sabbath become a wellspring of joy and renewal. See it as a gift, not an obligation. The Sabbath is an opportunity to receive rest, to embrace peace, and to experience life as it was meant to be, full, rich, and deeply connected. At worst, you'll rest. At best, you'll discover peace and connection you never expected. The Sabbath is a doorway to a deeper, more meaningful life, one where you can truly thrive. The journey isn't over. Next, we'll explore how ancient Rome shaped the calendar we live by today, and how the rhythms of history continue to influence our lives.